Hello everybody and welcome to this tutorial, and we're going to do some simple minimalistic edge wear effect like you have on low poly stuff. So it's not going to be the high detailed fancy edge wear. I'm going to do that in another tutorial, maybe later, the next upcoming maybe. But in this one it's going to be the low poly style. So if you look here in Unity, you see a low poly edge wear effect like this, and it's going to be procedural, and I'm also going to show how you can do this kind of stone effect that you see here. It's procedural material with no textures. I'm going to do it procedural in Unity, but if you're only in for the Houdini stuff, I'm going to do that in the first tutorials. And if we look more here, what we're going to address, so here you see we're just going to have a really simple slider to control this, how much we want, and it's going to be UV mapped and everything. So yeah, that's going to be awesome. And there are some more effects for it, so let's see here. I mean more, you can see how it looks on other different effects. So yeah, cool. So let's get started, and we're going to start from an empty scene. And let's see here. Even though we're not going to be inside Unity in this tutorial, I'm just going to set it up to use it later. So this is the empty scene we're going to be inside. And I also have this Houdini here. So I'm going to save this one, and I'm going to save it next to my Unity file here. So here is the file I save it. So everything will pile up here, and then it's easy to just drag in when we do the shader and other stuff. So the first thing off that we're going to do is, let's see here. First, we need a geometry node. It's like a folder. We'll go into that one, and I'm going to make a cube or a box. So we're going to work with this one, and we can just make it like a little bit taller. So this is the mesh we're going to work on. So what we want to do, we want to find all the edges, so we know what edges we're going to work on. And the way we're going to do this is to use a measure node. Let's see, a measure node. No, that's not the one I was looking for. Labs measure curvature. So let's do a remesh on this one. So now we have a little bit more mesh, and when we plug it into here, you see now we can find the convex and concave shapes. And the convex is the red part. So I'm going to change that one to edge. So we will save the parameter edge here. And then we can just work with this one here to narrow it down if we have more complicated meshes. And then this is the concavity here. So yeah, but we're not going to use that one. So now we need to make group, because we need later on we're going to do this poly bevel. And when we use this poly bevel, we're going to see, you see here that we are actually doing it everywhere when we do this distance here. And we only want to do it on the edges. And the way to do that is to have a group, of course. So now when we only have an attribute on the edges, we can use different ways. I'm going to use a wrangler attribute. And here I'm going to use a threshold. So if we do a float in group, and we do, well, it's going to be F for float. So in group threshold. So with this slider here, we're going to define if the red color is above a certain value, then we're gonna do edge wear on that one. So if we do like this, if So now we're fetching the attribute edge here that we made. We put it here. So if you didn't change this one, you can use convexity instead. But if this value is more than in group, then we're going to do something with that value. And else, we do something else. So if, let's see here. Yeah, so if this point here, let's say the corner here, if that red edge value is more than 0.3, which all the edges will be here, then we're just going to do at group, and we're going to do edge. It's equal to 1. So this means that the point is inside the group. And if it's not, then it's going to be 0. And this part you could actually delete, but for clarity, I leave it. And now, down here, we need to, well, if we did use this one edge here, you see, we do the points. Well, it actually doesn't really work. So what we need to do, you can see here that we have the group, point group edge here. We have it. And let's see here, the group edge here. Let's see, group here, yeah. So here you can see that some are 0 and some are 1. But what do we need to do here? We need to do a group, a group promote. And this group promote, we're gonna take the group name edge. We're going to take it from, well, it's a point, and we're going to change it to edges. So now you see we have converted that to edges. And this edge is included in this one, but we don't really want it like this. So what we do is include only elements on the boundary. Now you see we only have this nice edge here. So now here we just do edge, and now you see it works. So now when we go here, you see it only do this part. That's perfect. And the next thing we want to do, we want to add a noise. So we can have a noise controlling what's going on. So let's see what we've done here. So we're going to add the noise eventually, but I just want to show you here. Let's say we have this one here. Well, this one. And we do let's do mount. We can do mountain on this one. Mountain. So now you see, if we do the curvature here, we have red values a little bit all over the place. And that's why you want to use this slider here to kind of decide. For instance, you don't want to do edge wear in here, on this one here. So you can just drag this one to kind of only make the really hard edges on it. So let's say even if the amplitude was lower, yeah, you don't want it to be everywhere. So that's really good just to remember that you can work with this slider here, right? Coolers. So yeah. So let's see, we're gonna add the noise somewhere, and I'm gonna leave the noise part to the next tutorial. So thank you so much for watching, and see you in the next tutorial.